Alright, so I decided to do this one as a speed draw. Yeah, not really sure what to say just to start off. It's tricky, but as you can see, I'm just figuring out the pose, doing some quick little vague positioning, figuring out the hair, because probably can't quite tell just yet, but that's Nabiki, and I can never draw her hair right because she's got helmet hair. But somehow it looks decent in the anime. It's very hard to make her actually look good, though. So just doodling in a little placeholder face, figuring out the anatomy, and shorts, because it's summer. Zooming in. There's going to be a couple zoom ins. I hope they won't be too annoying or anything. Also, apologies if you can hear the traffic outside. And yeah, there's a couple moments where I take brief breaks because I'm double checking references and such. And then I was like, those legs are too long, so fix that. Now I'm polishing the anatomy a little bit better. Trying to make sure the limbs are in the right place. And, fixing the face a little more. Trying to get the hair right. The baggy shirt. It's actually looking at the mom from Nuku Nuku, because her hair is similar to Nabiki's, but a little bit less helmety. So yeah, working on the feet and the legs. And now going to another layer. And that's another layer of sketching because I sketched way too many layers. Yeah. Figuring out the face in a more polished way. And then I think this is when I was looking up the reference from the mom in Nuku Nuku for hair. And also had a face reference up. It's playing with the bangs a bit more so it looks more like actual hair and not just a helmet. There's the little autosave, which autosave is very nice to have. And big old head of hair. Big 80s hair. Figuring out the shirt, how it sits, how poofy it is. Making the neck a little thinner, because I do tend to give people pretty thick necks. And that's a bus, if you could hear it. There's advantages and disadvantages to living on a bus route. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm just going over everything again, trying to polish it a bit more. And yeah, figuring out how her hand is sitting on that little tube of chips. I think I was looking up another reference. Yeah, trying to figure out how to draw the hand holding the chips. I'm just cleaning a little. And I was like, yeah, those legs were still too long. unlike Rumiko, I don't draw the same crazy long legs, at least not normally. Doing a little flip to pretend like I am a real proper professional artist. Getting in the other foot. Zoom in to see how balanced the face looks. And doing another round of sketching to clean up the face. I'll admit this one was probably excessive and I could have just done the line art at this stage, but I was a little nervous because it was my first proper speed draw attempt. I've done one other one, but that one was super rough, so yeah, I wanted to try to make sure this looked very nice. Making the one arm a little thicker there. And then putting a design on the tube of chips. Is it called a tube? I'd call it a tube. And yeah, it's some sort of octopus flavor because Japan. Putting a couple more folds in here and there. Wrinkles, creases, that sort of stuff. Hands are hard. Feet can also be tricky. They're not as hard as hands, but they're still important to get right. And then it's like, okay, I'll actually do line art. And do it in a different color so it's crisper and stands out more. Had some fun with the bangs. And yeah, hope that spinning isn't too much and too fast. And yeah, zoomed out because I couldn't remember if I had the screen flipped or not. Baggy shirt, but trying to make it clear it's a thin material. Good, loose clothing for summer. I can only imagine what Tokyo summers are like. Seem very hot and very humid. I would probably die. And as you can see here, circles are my enemy, as are straight lines. Wanted to give the little octopus one of those all like twisty bandana-y things that the merchants and food sellers have. Trying to avoid a tangent, which that is one thing I've noticed. I get lots of complaints from art teachers about, oh, don't copy anime because the art is bad, and that seems to be based off some questionable choices in art. But tangents, it seems like anime artists don't care about tangents in the least. They're like, yeah, we'll just have that line connecting to whatever. Oh yeah, that little fussy bit with switching layers was just because the side of my hand hit the spot where you click. Joys of being left-handed. Yeah. And then turn the line art dark, crop a little, wanted to get the right crop. And now it's coloring time, which is probably the part everyone was waiting for. and the part that I do very quickly. I still don't really totally know how to do anime hair highlights. I just kind of wing it. Also skin tones. I just kind of wing those too. They're hard to get right. And you like try to do the color picker, and it turns out the color on that photo of someone is completely different lighting, and it's just a headache. So and just making the little octopus pinkish orange color. Sort of the metallic shimmer there. So it's basically a Pringles can. And now the shirt, which attaches this to the theme for the month, but also just looks nice as a shirt. And now we're going to go and do some shading, which I just do very simple, basic shading. Always do cell shading because I'm bad with doing core shadows and whatnot, and it can get very complicated to try to do shadows. So I just flat out some basic shadows. Like, I'm not doing fully realistic because it's cartoony style, so you do shadows heavier where you want focus to be, and then just a little bit of other shadowing here and there, mostly for the sake of like balancing the picture. Yeah, quickly doing a little bit to add some weight to the bottom, setting to multiply, and here we go, the final picture. Hope everyone liked that. Hope it wasn't too slow. Hope my narration wasn't too constant.